Well, I'm afraid you're not done yet with the speeches. We still need to hear from the best man, of course. Most talented banjo player outside of Georgia.
I met Andrew in the 3rd year. Andrew had a side parting. Andrew had a red blazer. Andrew had a black tie with red stripes. Did you ever know that? No. Someone once said to me, "Love is a state of mind." At the time, I just looked at Andrew like he was nuts. Then, I realized he was actually serious, but whatever. I put it out of my mind, and basically forgot about it. Years later, looking back at it, I realized he might actually have had something. I know that it's basically tradition in these speeches to talk about the groom's past, tell anecdotes about him in his teenage years, and of course, make hilarious jokes about how the responsibility of marriage will affect him. But I'm not going to do that. All of our friends have known for years that Andrew and Amy would get married. Their devotion to each other has always been absolutely undiminished, and it will remain exactly that way after the wedding. So that undimmed devotion, the state of mind which Andrew mentioned, is what I'm going to talk about. When we all left school, I think everyone would have agreed that Andrew was probably the shyest out of all of us. It was, therefore, somewhat of a surprise when Andrew emailed us to tell us about his new girlfriend. But it wasn't really. Someone had actually already told me. But the information contained in that email would shock us all. Here is the email. Or at least the relevant parts. I think we should meet up for a drink. I will be bringing along my girlfriend. Yes, you can stop looking shocked now. You will be nice to her. She is ginger. She is ginger, but I do not mind. I should have known then that it was meant to be. After a bit of going out with Amy, Andrew started to change. He became more confident, less angry, more generous, basically happy. And for her part, Amy showed us what kind of girl was necessary to make such changes. Resilient enough to withstand a wardrobe dropped on her head. Brave enough to attend the most terrifying alternative rock concerts. And scary enough to make sure that I'm not going to say anything really embarrassing. I wanted to say something meaningful, but whatever you say has already been said by someone else, and better. I don't know who said that originally, but it was someone else. As such, I wanted to find a quote which would describe Andrew and Amy's love. I looked through films, music, books, but everything seemed trite or over the top. Nothing really seemed to sum up the change which I've seen in my friend. Nothing really seemed to encapsulate how much Andrew needs Amy's love. Until I thought of one thing. Props, please. At first, I wasn't sure.
He's ready to switch.
The original quote wasn't even about love, and it was from a relatively obscure source. Surely, few people among the wedding guests would actually get the context. But the more I thought about it, the more I kind of realised it had to be done.
Watch out, Sue.
Most of the time. I know that most of you are not familiar with the film I'm about to paraphrase. So, as you're not familiar, I want you to use your imaginations. I want you to imagine that this Satsuma represents Andrew's heart. And this represents Andrew's heart without the protective influence of Amy's love. Okay. So actually, I just did that because I wanted to do a tribute to the sci-fi classic, The Core. But now I kind of have to wrap up. It's traditional to make a toast at the end of the speech in order to wish the bride and groom luck.
Toast,
But-
not toast.
Well, it's traditional to make a toast to wish them luck. But in my opinion, luck is really unnecessary. It's obvious to all of us that Andrew and Amy are going to be very happy for a very long time. They are romantic without ever being unrealistic. They are comfortable without ever taking each other for granted. They are totally wrapped up in each other without ever neglecting their friends. And for all these reasons, I think they represent to me, more than anyone else I know, what it really means to be in love. So maybe Andrew was right. Accordingly, raise your glasses, not to wish them luck or anything like that, but just as a tribute to people who know what they're talking about when they say they're in love. To Andrew and Amy.
Well, that was unexpected.